Alright, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got a very special video. We're gonna upgrade to a KartBoy short shifter in the WRX. It should be pretty fun. I also finished the wrap on the hood and the roof and the trunk. I still got to finish this center section. I'm doing 2 pieces because my wing is on there. It does not come off. Also got my Morettes that I imported from the UK, or bought in the UK. Got them fully built, not built, but fully rebuilt and put on the car. I know some people hate these taillights, but I really love the heritage and the rarity, because those are really hard to come by and get. So yeah. Alright guys, fun surprise when I was pulling out my shifter. It already had a KartBoy short shifter in there, so we went ahead and changed it out because they did mess up the threads. Now as you can see, I've already put my KartBoy shifter and shift knob onto my WRX, as well as the Torque Solutions upgraded pivot bushing, steel pivot bushing, and I also did the KartBoy front and rear stay bushing, which I won't cover in this video because it's under the car. And yeah, it's pretty much under the car. Right here is the front stay bushing, and then the rear stay bushing is somewhere right in here under the car. I've already done both of those, but it's really cold and I don't want to get under the car. So yeah, this is the KartBoy weighted shift knob. When you buy buy any of their knobs, they come with 2 or 3 different stickers that you can put on top, and I decided to put this one. It was this one or a yellow one, and it looks really nice. Really like it. So to begin, we'll just simply unscrew the shift knob. Depending on what shift knob you have in your car, this process might be different for you. If you have a factory one, it'll screw off. Now if you have one with a set screw, you'll have to loosen the set screw, but this is not one. On the knob, so I'll get it out, you just pull it off. And yeah, now we got our boot. Next step is we're going to remove this little center console piece, and then that'll allow us to remove this center console piece. Alright, first thing you want to do is pop that up. We are not going to worry about loosening either one of those screws. We're just going to grab in here, kind of pull. There we go. You want to be gentle because you don't want to pull too much and pull it all the way up here, because you could rip the wires or break the connectors that are in there for the window controls. I also have my special switch right there for my tester mode, but then if you wanted to get this out of your way, you can just simply disconnect it by pushing this little white tab right here. You just push that white tab and pull out. But I'm not going to do all that because it's not really that required. So next we'll get this piece out, which simply just pull up a little bit, be gentle, and we will alleviate that. Now comes the fun part. There we go. Move the seat back, and there we go. So as you can see, you don't have to remove this, but it does make your life a lot easier. And here it is. That's my KartBoy short shifter that I already installed. As you can see, it's really nice shifter. Look at that. And I got tons of grease when I put it in. So I greased the pivot part, or the pivot bushing, as well as, or barrel, as well as the bottom portion of it. But yeah, now we will begin to take the shifter out. Just pretend like this is a different shifter, or the OEM shifter. I'm just trying to make a show you how to, if y'all were going to go to a short shifter, whether it be KartBoy or Cobb. I know the Cobbs, they have an adjustable one, but there's already videos out there on how to adjust that. This is just a KartBoy short shifter, your basic short shifter. So yeah, there's one bolt that holds the shifter in place. I'll have to get a wrench. All right, now that we got our shifter exposed, we will now begin to remove this nut. It's a nut and bolt, or a bolt with a nut on the end, holding the shifter in place. That's the only thing. And it should be a 12 mil on both sides. Yep, 12 mil. So yeah. Now we will take this nut out, loosen this nut, and we can slide that bolt out. And as you see, we got plenty of room to slide it all the way out. It is a rather long bolt. But yeah, I'll go ahead and do that now. Alright, now that we got that bolt out, I simply put the nut on the end of the bolt so I don't lose them. Now, the shifter is released from, I guess, this gear selector. But yeah, now we can simply, what we have to do is you don't have much room on this to move it. We can kind of simply push it out of the way a little bit. We'll have to turn it 100, there we go. Turn it all the way around, facing back, and then you can either simply just pull up, and as you can see, it pops right out. Now I did put a bunch of grease on that. I'm actually probably going to remove some of that grease, so I'll probably wipe this down. And if you're installing a new shifter, make sure you use put some re-grease it, and also re-grease the cavity. Alright, to put the shifter back in, make sure you grease the shifter as well as the cavity, just with some all-purpose grease, and clean the cavity out, which I did, and clean the shifter off if you're putting the old shifter back in. Rubber mallet works best. If you don't have a rubber mallet, you can put a towel or something over this shifter to make sure you don't damage these threads. But I'm going to use my mallet. It does take some effort, so you will have to really hit it. Just make sure you have it centered, perfectly centered, and yeah. Alright, now that we got the shifter in, as you can see, it does take some strength to get it in. Just keep beating on it. It'll eventually go in, you'll feel it. And then you can always double check yourself by pulling up on it. As you can see, it's not coming up, so it is locked in. Make sure these pivot bushing and pivot rod, pivot rod is all intact, because as you can see, mine kind of slid out while I was hitting it in. But now all we got to do is, as you can see, is turn it back around. KartBoy logo goes towards the engine. Slide it up and line the bolt holes up with the pivot bushing, or that little sleeve, and reinsert our bolt and nut. That's all there is to it. Before you go ahead and tighten it all the way up, but before you, make sure you test the shifter before you tighten it all the way up, because when I tightened mine all the way up, it became really stiff and really hard, and it really took force to get into the gears. So make sure that you try it first, because if you don't like it, what you can do is you can loosen this bolt and nut combo up a little bit. Just take it a little bit at a time, like half a turn or a quarter of a turn. Loosen it up a little bit, try it, run through the gears, and if it's still too stiff or tight, loosen up a little bit more. But I mean, you can only go so far when loosening it up. If you start to see a gap on where the bolt meets the shift linkage and where the nut meets the shift linkage, if you start to see a gap, then obviously you're going way too loose. But yeah, that seems to be a nice happy medium. It's still pretty tight. You will not be able to undo the bolt by hand, so it's still fairly tight. But yeah, just a little pro tip right there. If try the shifter out before you put everything back together, because if you put everything back together and it's really stiff and you don't like it and it's really uncomfortable, you can loosen this bolt up just a little bit. This bolt nut, you can loosen them up just a little bit, and till you find that sweet spot. But yeah, now it feels good to me, nice and pretty stiff. That's also due to the front and rear stay bushings, polyurethane rear and front stay bushings that I also installed. But yeah, now putting everything back together is pretty much the same as pulling it apart. We'll start just in reverse order. We'll start with this. There we go. There we go. And these simply just click into place, as you can hear. They got tabs. As you can see, they got tabs. And then this is the part where you would reconnect your mirror controls, side mirror controls, which I didn't disconnect, so we don't have to worry about that. And also, you might have to pull your handbrake up or down to get this out if you take it all the way up. And then simply just line it up like so, and then it'll clip into place. Give everything a nice firm push. As you can see, it's all back together. Alright, once you got the knob all the way tightened on there, for my preference, I always like the KartBoy logo lined up or running symmetrical. So what I'll have to do is take a glove or some cloth or something and just turn it that just a little extra. Once you're happy with it, you can throw the shift boot on. All you gotta do is just simply pull up on it until it locks into that there recess. Just pull up, and it'll lock in. If I can get it to lock in. It's really hard with one hand. There it goes. I don't know if y'all heard that little audible click, but as you can see, it is locked in and it's not going nowhere. So if you found any of this information useful or helpful in any way, please smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe. There will be more content on the Corvette as well as the Corvette and the Crossfire. I've just been having a lot of fun here lately with this WRX because it is something totally different from what I'm used to. So yeah, it's pretty fun little car and a great little project. This thing still got tons of things to do this car.